everyone, and welcome back to StoryCraft. I'm Miss Rebecca, and in keeping with our summer theme, our summer vacation, beach, and summer reading theme, I'm going to be reading another book related to the ocean. This one is called Swashby and the Sea, written by Beth Ferry, illustrated by Juana Martinez-Neal. So let's get into Swashby and the Sea. Captain Swashby loved the sea. The sea and he had been friends for a long, long time. She knew him in and out, up and down, and better than anyone. So when Swashby retired, it was to a small house on a small beach as close to the sea as he could be. Whenever he needed something, the sea provided exactly the right thing at exactly the right time. Life was just the way Swashby liked it, salty and sandy and serene, until squeaks and squeals sprang from the empty house next door, which was no longer empty. It had been commandeered by a girl and her granny who planted umbrellas, scattered beach chairs, and boarded Swashby's deck without permission. Uh-oh. Swashby battened down the hatches, hid when the doorbell rang, and fed their oatmeal cookies to the gulls. He didn't need neighbors. He didn't want neighbors. Neighbors were nosy, a nuisance, annoying. So in return, he left a message clearly written in the sand, saying no trespassing, which the sea fiddled with just a little bit. Let's see what it turns into. It turns into sing. Sing, the girl read, and did just that. She sang every song she knew while dancing up and down Swashby's deck. "What now?" she asked. "Now vanish," Swashby wrote later that evening, adding a starfish exclamation point. And the sea fiddled just a little. What's it gonna turn into? Wish, the girl read, picking up the starfish, and did just that. She closed her eyes and began, "I wish..." "No, no," Swashby interrupted, stomping down the steps. "If you mean to make a starfish wish, you must say this. Starfish back to waves so blue, the sea will see a wish come true." "How lovely," Granny said. "We wish you'd come for a cup of tea, Mr. Swashby." Excuse me. But Swashby wished to be left alone, so he grumbled and mumbled and hurried inside. He didn't need tea. He didn't want tea. Tea was civilized, friendly, neighborly. What he needed was a new message. "Please go away," he wrote firmly in the sand. And once again, the sea fiddled just a little. It says, "Play, play," the girl sounded out, and did just that, with Swashby's shells and stones, with his buckets and shovels, but her towers kept falling. "Barnacle bottoms," Swashby muttered, marching out. "You're doing it all wrong. You must not use the sun-baked sand. It's the sea sand does the trick." And he showed her how to dig for the wet sand below. But Swashby was gone. Before long, amazing sculptures decorated the beach. "It's the clam shells you should be using," Swashby called from inside. "Come play, Mr. Swashby," the girl called back. "Swashbys don't play," he answered, banging the shutters. So the sea decided to meddle more than just a little. She inched her way up the sand and tickled the girl's toes. She nibbled on the sculptures and slurped away the bucket. The girl tried to grab it, but "Look at me," the girl called. "Look at her," Granny gasped. "Oh dear, look at her." Granny hurried to the water's edge. Oh no, she's falling into the water. What's gonna happen? Swashby was already there. Look at him diving into the waves after the girl. "What are ye up to, you great salty imp?" he asked, scooping up the girl and the bucket. With a great big wave, the sea delivered the pair back to shore, and there was no stopping the laughing and thanking and hugging that was Swashby's reward. "I see what you did," he whispered to the sea as he was whisked away to celebrate. After that, it was easy for Swashby to have tea with the girl and her granny, and ice cream, and lobster, and s'mores on the beach. It was easy for him to share his special sea glass. It was even easy for him to see that neighbors could be fun, and friends, and family. And when he had a moment to himself, Swashby carved a heartfelt message for the sea. "Thank ye, friend," which the sea fiddled with just a little bit. It says, "The end." And that was Swashby and the Sea. And welcome to the craft portion of today's StoryCraft. Today we will be making starfish, just like the starfish from the book. All you need to make these starfish is an outline of some starfish. So I printed this one off the internet. I just did a Google search, honestly, and found some really good templates. If you want to do that, or you can draw them yourself, it's totally up to you. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, as well as some objects and crayons that you're going to use to make patterns on your starfish, and I will show you exactly how to do that. So take your outline of your starfish and put it on top of your first object. This object that I found here is actually just a Lego mat, so it has a bunch of little bumps sticking up. And so I'm going to take the side of my crayon and rub it over top of the starfish. So it's going to transfer the pattern onto the starfish, which is going to look really cool. And you're just going to want to do it lightly so you're not breaking through the paper or anything like that. But you do want to do it kind of over and over again just to make sure you get that pattern nice and clearly on your starfish. So this next item I'm using is a cutter. I'm having a little bit of trouble with it, as you can see in the video. And the results are just so-so. But you know what? It's fun to try out different things, and I kind of like it. And for my last object, I'm just using a paper plate. And whoops, my head got in the way. Let's just cut that out. Here you can see this is the pattern that it made. I just went over it in kind of different directions to get the pattern of the paper onto the starfish. And next you're just going to cut your starfish out. And of course, as always, if you need help using the scissors, please ask a grown-up. And there you go. There you have your starfish. We're just going to do one more thing to make them a little bit more 3D. I'm just going to gently fold them just a little bit more towards the center of each leg around the starfish. And you're going to see how that makes them pop up just a little bit to make them look a little bit more 3D, a little bit more realistic. And you don't want to crease them really hard, just gently bend them a little bit. And you also don't need to get all the way out to the tips of the legs, just towards the center is fine. And there you have it. You have your starfish. Now, there are a couple different things you can do with them once you have them like this. One option is to take a hole punch and punch a hole and then hang it up. You could hang it around your room or wherever you like. A different option is you can make a fun background like this. I just used some blue, some cream, and some green paper to create a sort of sandy underwater seascape. And then you would just glue your starfish down. Whatever you choose to do with your starfish, feel free to be really creative. It's totally up to you. And that's it for today's StoryCraft. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.